Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is July 9th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see across the Sierra Nevada, still got some snow out there across the area. Lake Tulare out there, you can see on the GOES 18 satellite imagery, should be with us for another year or so, and maybe even longer, depending on what kind of precipitation this El Nino brings us and what kind of snowfall we get across the Sierra Nevada here through the winter months coming up. This is looking on the coastline. Check out that marine layer making its way inland a bit here. Very cold water off the coastline, pretty typical for California, and warming things up to extreme levels here across some of the desert southwest. You get a nice tight pressure gradient, and that's why you get that persistent north and northwest wind down the coastline, especially central and northern California. Find yourself a hilltop right along the immediate coastline there. You can get some really big winds. Interesting microclimate there for the state of California. But the big thing coming up here is towards the end of the week, we're really going to build this ridge of high pressure across the area, and places are going to stay warm, especially interior places like Phoenix and Las Vegas. The desert areas are going to warm up quite nicely. A lot of California as well. We'll take a look at those details here in a moment. On this day in Southern Cal weather history, you can get remnants of tropical storms and hurricanes to move over the area and even bring some light precipitation, some thunderstorm activity here. And this is just talking about Darby, part of the record-breaking Eastern Pacific hurricane season. 1992 had 27 named storms. So let's see what this year brings. Excessive heat warning, Las Vegas National Weather Service. You guys know the do's and don'ts, and this is really going to include much more of the area here as we go towards the end of the week coming up. This is Phoenix, Arizona graphic here. Long duration, dangerous heat ahead, major and extreme. And when Phoenix talks about that, you know it's going to be hot here next weekend. Look at that, well up into the 110s there for Phoenix, Arizona. That was issued this morning. Now here we go with the fire danger here. Las Vegas. Some of Arizona here into Utah as well. Some critical conditions there across the city. So just watch out if you're out and about. The fire danger is quite high, and it's elevated again tomorrow across a lot of the region down there as well. Now this is looking at the NAM3KM. This is kind of what's helping kick off some of this elevated fire risk here. This is going to increase some of the winds coming across the Las Vegas area, up across northern Arizona into Utah here. This looks like a pretty robust storm system, but it is not bringing any precipitation to this area. Might kick off some thunderstorms here across some of eastern Utah and Colorado there, but is not a precipitation maker for California or Nevada. Just going to be an increase in the winds. And this is looking at the NAM3KM 80-meter wind speed here. So you'll see this as you go through the day, afternoon today. You can kind of see that wind speed increase there with that system moving across the region. And you can see those strong winds down the coastline that I talked about with that strong gradient that sets up on a daily basis here, central and northern California especially. This is the composite reflectivity, what the Doppler radar may look like here as we go through the next few days. You can see no precipitation expected with that system moving through here. Again, maybe kicking off some storms across eastern Utah there. But the monsoon's trying to creep its way into some of southern Arizona here over the next few days. Not a lot of precipitation expected here, but it is showing a little bit of signs of life as we go. We'll take that a little bit more detailed look at that here in a moment, and we'll look at that now. This is all the way through Friday night. And you can see some of that precip starting across Arizona here. Nothing expected across California and Nevada here all the way through Friday night. This would be shown here. Day one, thunderstorm outlook. Again, southeast Arizona. Again, eastern Arizona here. Nothing for California or Nevada here the next couple of days. This is looking at Phoenix, Sky Harbor International Airport. Check this out as you go on into early next week. Very warm temperatures, well above average here for much of the area. This is Los Angeles. Now, it doesn't take much. You go inland a little bit, like a place like Burbank averages about 89 for this time of year. So they're going to warm up quite nicely here. This is kind of closer to the coastline here, Los Angeles International Airport. But it will be warming up a bit here as we go through the weekend as well. This is Palm Springs. Go interior here a bit. Again, and a lot of places are going to be dealing with some downright scorching temperatures here. As you can see, 115 by the time you get towards Tuesday on yesterday's GFS run. San Francisco, and how does that saying go? The coldest winter I ever experienced was a summer in San Francisco, and you can kind of see why here. You get those winds rolling down the coastline here, and the temperature's only in the 60s. You can feel pretty downright chilly, but you don't have to go far inland to kind of get away from those conditions. This is looking at the 2-meter temperature anomaly, and as we scroll through here, you notice those below average conditions across some of the state of California are going to be replaced with above average conditions here as we go through the weekend. Look at this, the GFS, man. It is really going to warm things up here across much of the Southwest. We'll take a look at the upper levels of the atmosphere here in a moment as well, but you can clearly see we are expecting above average temperatures all the way in through early next week at least. This is 500 millibars, GFS, last night's run. Big ridge of high pressure here, and watch this thing move back into the west here and really start to include the state of California here as we go through Friday afternoon, showing here. And then look at this as we go through the weekend, just kind of dominating, big stranglehold across much of the southwest here as we start to move into Monday morning. Look at some of these heights just centered right across Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and California here as well. This would be Monday afternoon shown here. So definite warm up is coming. This is looking at 500 millibars, and you can actually see that system is kind of increasing the fire danger there a little bit there on the European. But now watch what happens as we start to go on in towards Wednesday night. Now we're into Thursday, Friday morning here, and you can clearly see this ridge of high pressure starting to dominate much of the southwest. This is looking at 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook, and big signal there. 8 to 14 day, again, the signal there. Maybe a little moisture returning to southeast Arizona through this period, though. This is 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook, and I highlighted the average temperature for Los Angeles International Airport there. But look at Burbank. I mean, by this time of year, it's not even that far up. I'd have to move that down a little bit there, but Burbank averages 89 for this time of year, and you can clearly see these above average temperatures. Sacramento averaging about 95 here, so it's going to be above average for you even as well. And look at Phoenix and Las Vegas, already hot enough by this time of year, and above average conditions are incoming. This is looking at the entire state, again, somewhere around the 85th percentile there, still about 1.5 inches across the snow water equivalent recording areas up there. And this Sierra Nevada here, so still a little bit of water to go. And this is the significant wildland fire potential outlook. I've been showing this the last few days in case anybody missed it. Northern California and the Sierra Nevada, look at this, below normal wildland fire potential here. And that's because of all that snow and precipitation we got. And hopefully in turn, with all that vegetation that's growing with a lot of that precipitation we got, it doesn't actually increase it in some localized areas. But for the most part, should be below normal. This is August, and even all the way through September, it kind of shows the central and southern Sierra there, a little bit below normal fire potential there. So anyway, yeah, hopefully you guys are prepared for this heat coming up, because it's going to get a little bit crazy there across places like the desert areas. You know, Sacramento's going to warm up quite nicely. Palm Springs, Phoenix, you guys know the drill. Summertime is here, and let's keep watching off in the extended to see when that monsoon is going to arrive into Arizona, and see if that eventually is going to affect some areas of Las Vegas, maybe Nevada, and California as well. But anyway, yeah, get out there and enjoy that weather. Click like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.